All right, the training hall is open July 1st, 2025. So July 1st, 2025, a month from now, the training hall is open. And if you're a member of our Izzo Wing Chun Patreon, you get to be involved. Guest speakers, training, Q&A with Sifus and Senseis. I'm going to allow everybody in from, I don't care if you got a Wing Chun background, I'll let you JKD guys in, BJJ, defensive tactics, Taekwondo. We're going to be opening the great training hall to have conversations, evaluate. Go to Izzo Wing Chun on Patreon and check out what membership includes starting this July 1st, 2025. Now, pay attention to this for a second. We have to talk about this because this is important.
It's not entirely useless like it's kind of portrayed in these clips where these masters get like beaten completely. On one hand, we have this very idealized martial art, which is like unbeatable. You have the Ip Man movies, it's almost like this superhero strength. And then on the other hand, you have a bunch of Wing Chun masters who are supposed to be very, very capable and showcase a lot of speed and agility. And at the same time, they get beaten by different type of fighters. And it doesn't matter who against these Wing Chun masters are, they always get beaten. On the one hand, Wing Chun seems like totally useless. On the other hand, it seems like this magical, all-conquering martial arts can win everything. And I think personally, like the truth is not really on either side. It definitely doesn't look like, you know, the movie fights. It's not.
Now, let me explain why this happened. And it's a very simple reason. It's how the system is trained. That's it. That's it. For those who remember, if you've ever been shopping around Wing Chun for years, it's always been the least aggressive system when they train. I've shown videos over the years where you've got like Sean Obasi when he was Chisaoing, oh gosh, I can't remember his name. I can see him with his big, thick head of black hair. And when it gets a little bit, Randy Williams. Randy Williams and Sean Obasi are Chisaoing, and Sean is bigger than Randy. And what you see happen is the same thing that has happened since time immemorial in the Wing Chun system is when somebody gets too aggressive, what do you hear the Wing Chun people on the side yelling? Soft, soft. Why? I've always thought that was insane bullshit. When we saw Klaus Brand jump on the scene a couple years ago, and he was actually advocating, well, in Wing Chun, you know, we're aggressive, and they have a very aggressive, hard style of Wing Chun. I went, this is what we do. I don't know why we keep doing the bullshit of sensitivity, leveraging the bull and the matador, right? You're the bull, I'm the matador. Fuck that, I'm the bull. I'm about to roll right through you. We have too much crane in Wing Chun and not enough snake, right? So, well, you've seen it. You saw Lung Ting in his video years ago. I would not recommend you do any weightlifting at all. One of the main reasons that my Wing Chun is so aggressive is the fact that I'm strong as fuck. I've lifted heavy weights since I was 13. I've been a wrestler since I was 12. And I've said this before. Most people who start in Wing Chun go to grappling and go, oh my God, I wish I would have done grappling sooner. Because grappling, it removes all the balance that's required. And especially if you do get involved with a little bit of wrestling, you're more aggressive, right? I've said for them a million times, the people who, if they actually left like wrestling specifically and then went to Wing Chun, they would be like, oh my God, I see the marriage huge. The main reason that all these Wing Chun Sifus over the years are getting their asses handed to them is not the system. It's not a style. It's how they train. There's no aggression in their schools, and it's for a reason. You have to understand it's called guarding the rice bowl. I talk about this all the time. You know, if my second Sifu, Phil Nearing, I don't know if he has a single student to this day that knows the entire system. Back when I was training with him, he had guys who were training with him for 20 years that didn't know the pole form, didn't know the butterfly knives. They were just coming up on learning Bill G. It was his income. That's how it's called guarding the rice bowl. So the point is, and this is how most teachers are. Most Wing Chun teachers will teach you just enough to keep you coming back to pay your tuition. It's always been my thought, I need to make you better than me, because if you're always chasing me to kick my ass, it means I have to improve, because I'm not going to let you fucking do it. There's no way in hell a student of mine is ever going to kick my ass. So the more I teach you to improve, the more you improve. That's the real teaching of Wing Chun, right? But we have this guarding the rice bowl. And that's why it's always soft, No. You have to do your Wing Chun soft and your Chi Sao. This then puts these students in a false sense of security that when they go out and they do their Mun Sao Wu Sao display and they actually get some hard ass energy, is going to punch them in the fucking face. They don't know how to deal with it. And that's why I keep saying sparring doesn't matter. There's so many of you who spar out there, but you have never been in a fucking fight. You don't know how scared you get into a fight, right? With somebody you don't know, a non-controlled environment. It's not your gym. It's not your dojo. It's not your kun, right? It's you don't know this guy. You're not matched up with the same height and weight and size. And man, there's some bad intent behind what was going on, right? You got mouthy at a bar. Somebody said something. You don't know what the fuck is going on. You've never been in that circumstance. You've never been in that situation. And what I can tell you from personal experience, this is the best thing. One of the greatest things about fighting. Now understand, I am not advocating you go out and pick a fight at all. The fights that I have always been into were a product of the environment. I worked in a 4 a.m. bar, right? I had bad short man disease. I was a bartender, but I loved to jump in the brawls when they happened, and they happened every single night. I was a cop. We did go hands-on all the time. You know, it's just the products of my environment went with people either actively, truly resisting me, or we're going to fucking fight and we're taking this out in the parking lot. The one thing that I got from true fighting was the physiology of my body that went, holy shit, when you go into fight or flight, you get the adrenaline dump, your hands shake. Every time, when I wrestled too, and this is why I was used to this in the bar industry, before I would go out for matches, my legs would shake like crazy as a wrestler, and I didn't understand what it was. I thought I was scared. It was an adrenaline dump. Your blood pools to your organs to protect them, and my limbs didn't have enough blood, so they're like shaking. And the second the whistle blew, everything was on. When I boxed at the Super Cop tournament, I did for law enforcement, I did 2003 and 2004. The phenomenon I noticed was, again, going into that boxing ring, I was scared shitless, not to fight. I was scared shitless of being embarrassed. I wasn't a boxer. I was a Wing Chun guy. And man, I don't want to get knocked out in front of a bunch of other cops out here and this and that and all these fans. And the best thing happened. When you get in an environment where you're scared, you get an adrenaline dump, you could take hits. Every time I was in a wrestling match, we didn't really take hits, but you get slammed, you're like, oh, that was nothing. Anytime I'm in a bar fight, get punched in the face, I'm like, okay, that's nothing. Anytime I'm in the boxing ring and you got that adrenaline, you get punched in the face. Oh, I survived. Holy shit, this is nothing. The adrenaline dump protection, the body's natural protection of what happens to you or physiologically in a fight, it's so incredible. So incredible how your body's able to take it. So the problem is we don't induce these settings when it comes to Wing Chun. Here's why as well, too. The excuse. If you took out, the only way Wing Chun would ever work in MMA is to actually use what it does, right? We have to remove 90% of what we make or what we use. So MMA, any grappling that's wrestling or BJJ and boxing are the three systems or styles where you can go full out. You're padded up, right? If you're padded up for boxing and MMA, you could take full-on hits and you can give full-on hits. You're not going to break your fingers. You're not going to break your hand. You're not going to get your head busted open, lose teeth. It's a controlled environment that you could still go all out, right? In Wing Chun, we use that excuse. You can't go full-on out. And how do they limit that? The more aggressive you get, when guys, start really going at it and they start exchanging, you hear some thuds, Sifu steps in and goes, soft. No, fucking let him go at it. Let somebody pick their teeth up off the floor. Let somebody's nose get busted open. Let somebody get shot right in the friggin' throat with a fuck out to go, damn, this stuff works and I can take it. This is the number one problem we have in Wing Chun. It is not the style. It's not the system. It isn't. That's why you go in, your mentality is not aggressive because you don't train in an aggressive state. That's why these guys get together and they're waiting. They're waiting to showcase their Wing Chun. They've never been punched. They have never been in the chaos of somebody swinging with these untrained wild haymakers. And you're like, what the fuck is going on? And then you're like, oh, I'm inside. And then how can you apply? If somebody's swooping with massive haymakers, and you've spent 99% of your time chi saoing or your drill, your reflex drills. How can you deal with something when arms are, it's like you're fighting, the Bob with no arms, no legs. Well, what does that mean? It means you have to focus on an attack instead. But you don't do that. You train to look good in your Wing Chun. This is why it fails. It is a lie that it's the system. It is the training that people have not implemented since time immemorial in this art. You have got to fucking brawl in this art. Sparring does not count. And that is why it's like, for me personally, I came from the fights. I came from wrestling. I came from boxing. When I got into Wing Chun, I was like, now I get it. Wing Chun kicks ass everywhere else because I already had the attributes of the aggression, the ability to take fucking hits, the ability to get slammed, the ability to get right back up in the fight, the ability to control, this breathing that's really shallow now, and I'm getting cotton mouth and tunnel vision and I can't hear and I'm fucking scared. That's fight or flight. And I'm going to survive this. I had all that. That's why my Wing Chun is fucking superior, because I've been in real fighting context. 90% of you are still in that, well, let's go spar. Let's go chisa. Let's go exchange energy. Dude, this is why Wing Chun gets the bad name. So if you're going to do it, I do not know how to solve this problem. Do not go out actively looking for fucking fights. You can't even controllably set it up in an environment like one of your classmates and go, hey, no gloves. Let's just do mouth guards only because you don't want to lose your teeth, but no gloves. And then we'll have somebody standing by to watch, make sure it doesn't get too out of control. You can't even do that because you guys still know each other and you're still classrooms. You have to be in a position where you fucking hate someone. You are, and we all know how it goes. You fucking hate somebody, you brawl, and then all of a sudden you find this massive amount of respect for them. You have to put yourself in that environment. But I don't know if our culture today can allow that so that people can get the true side of the training out that needs them to go, now I understand how, where, and why Wing Chun 100% fucking works against anything. It's not the system. It is always the method of training and the person who's training or is not training the right way. So if you have a Sifu saying, you don't need to lift weights in Wing Chun, fucking leave. If you have a Sifu who doesn't allow you to go at it aggressively to where you're doing chi sao and you're fucking bent over trying to catch your breath and it looks sloppy and it got messy and there's like claw marks on somebody's face and shit and you wouldn't grab through and you got punched in the face, you got to go. You got to go. If you are not in a school that endorses the concept that fighting is war, you got to go. So if you have the mysticism Wing Chun and you want that, awesome. You'll be great at chi sao. You'll be great at impressing your friends. Hey, touch me and watch how fast I can hit you, this and that. If you want real motherfucking brutal Wing Chun, then make sure you subscribe to the channel. And make sure you wind up subscribing to our Patreon and join us every Tuesday night, the first month of the Tuesday for the open training hall. We have a lot to do. See you guys in the next video.